We're
Am I
sorry.
not turtly enough for your turtle club?
You never are.
Sure.
What's the Google today?
Why do you always check the Google?
No, but I'm interested in what that is.
I feel like I always want to know what the Google feature is.
What was the point?
I don't know what the point is.
And I can't click on that because now I need this.
I know you can't. So we'll
Okay,
talk
remind
about
me.
it. Yeah. Okay. We'll check out the. I couldn't remember. You already got out of the
Not
thing.
even once.
Why didn't you even?
Because I need to put the thing on
I
so we can see
know.
the comments. I will go back to that. Trust me, it's in there. It is singing in. That tab is up in my head. Don't you worry.
Perfect. I have to tell you, we do the stupidest things. We look up the stupidest things. Okay, no.
What did I look up on the ground? Oh, the age.
No. Okay, no. I have to tell you, this is the friendship that I love about us.
Okay.
Okay. She's doing dishes, and we're talking about a friend I went to high school with. Do you even call him Uncle Pat anymore? At one point, it was Uncle Pat, but
just Pat.
Pat, that's fine. Trust me. And we got in this discussion.
I call you my uncle. Wait, hold on.
Oh yeah.
I call you my uncle, but like to other people,
Right.
when I refer to you, it's Niles.
I know. I always say my niece, and I say, well, it's really my friend's daughter, but she's practically my niece.
Yeah, but I mean, like when I don't call you Uncle Niles. I was like Niles.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Well,
Does that hurt your
usually
feelings?
you don't even call me Niles. It's asshole.
Yeah.
No.
Fuck you, bitch. That's usually what it is.
No.
Or you fucking bitch.
No, I don't. I don't think.
Georgia.
I don't think I ever get like, oh, I have to have a title. I just think.
Okay.
Just think.
I don't feel like it.
I feel
the kids call me Just. They don't call me Auntie Just.
Yeah.
Every once in a while. I mean, I call Kelsey Auntie Kelsey to them.
Yeah, because it's like a.
But I think they say Kelsey.
Yeah.
Sometimes they say Auntie. I don't know.
I don't think
I'm not
a time and place.
I feel like I'm not old enough. Am I old enough?
No, but I will tell you something. I will tell you something because now we're going on this tangent because this is what we do. No, this is what we do. This is our GM. When I was a kid, it was always Mrs., Mr.
Yeah.
Like
you cannot call him by the name.
Like it used to be Mr. Grant and Mrs. Grant. Like yes, Mr. Grant. Yes, Mr. And we get in trouble. Yes, Mrs. Grant. Yeah. And then we leave. And my parents, my friends would come over and say Mrs. Perry, Mr. Perry, all the time.
Yeah.
And I always thought to myself, that's going to be me. Like someday I'm going to have to be Mr. Perry and it's going to happen. Right.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, it's going to happen. And I think the weirdest thing was when I got to a certain age, I bumped into, and I'll use this for example, Pat's parents, and it was like, oh, you call me Ron. Like, don't call me Mr. Grant.
Yeah, actually, I can't call you that.
And I'm always like, okay, Mr. Grant. No, it's Ron. And I'm like, okay, Mr. Grant.
Now Mr. Grant, as in Pat's dad, yells at us for calling him Mr. Grant.
Yeah, like I just feel weird now.
See, okay, here's my thing. I didn't really know them as.
But I did.
Right.
Yeah.
But she came into me as a client.
Right. So it's just Mary.
Yeah.
When you hear Pat.
Mary.
No, I will tell you. Okay, so this is how Mary and Ron got Mary and Ron. When I started working with my parents, our other employees had a hard time of me always saying mom and dad. Because it was always like.
Not dynamic.
Like, oh, it's your daddy. He's going to take care of you. So we all sat down. I had to be about, I think 18, or it could have been even earlier, but I was around 18-ish. And they were like, listen, people are complaining, not complaining, but they're really giving me grief about this. So then it became Bob and Georgette. So,
which I respect that because that's a different life. That's a different.
I have a whole different attitude. Yeah. Like it's weird because
if it was just
we don't bring in. We try not to bring in family problems into the business.
Right, and separation.
It is. So it's like,
my glasses are so dirty. I can't fucking see.
I'm here.
Where are you? I'm like trying to see like.
I was like, you go to a Chinese restaurant too? So
trying to be like the Olympian.
I'm trying to be Olympian, yes. And so so I would go out. This is when I was still friends with your dad and Pat and stuff. Like, well, I still am, but you know, like friends. Like, we would see them all the time. And I remember saying something about work, and I said, "Oh, Bob was doing this, and Georgette. Oh my gosh, yeah." And
that's said, one thing about me. My glasses are always dirty because I never had the time.
I said Bob and Georgette, and I remember Pat going, "Oh, why did you call them that?" And I said, "Well, at work, I call them Bob and Georgette. If it's something at home, it's Mom and Dad." Mm-hmm. And next thing you know, my mom's being married again. Like, you know, and then it became like, then he started doing it, and I'm like, okay, that's weird. Like, okay, I don't call my parents that. Like, okay, it's weird. And then I landed bumping into them, and they're like, "Oh, please don't call me that anymore." And I'm like, okay, because you're an adult now. Yeah. It was like a rite of passage when you don't have to call Mr. and Mrs. But it was so ingrained that some people, it's really hard for me. I'm like,
so our neighbors across the street, right?
Right.
It was the parents lived here, and then directly across, the daughter lived there, right? Mm-hmm. The parents, we would call Mr. and Mrs. Johnson.
Okay.
And then the daughter's name is Sherry.
Right.
So we always called her Sherry.
Right.
And then my mom went one day, she's like, "You need to call her Miss Johnson." And I was like, "She's always been Sherry." Yeah. Like, she's told me to call her Sherry. So
right. like yeah, I know.
She's like, "Well, it's really disrespectful." I'm like, I don't know about that. But I think I was old enough to, like, maybe, like, I was still in school. So it was like that weird, like
you're
I understand,
almost an adult, but you're not an adult. Yeah. You haven't. And in my day,
and I think it was after the Johnsons passed.
Right.
So like then it was already easier. Like.
But then it's easier because there's only one Johnson, and you're like,
yeah, okay. But to me,
you're still
Mrs. Johnson
is them.
Yeah.
Right now, I know exactly. So, I remember always being that situation, and then, there were certain parents. I felt like I got so close to it, became mom and dad. Like, they became like Ma's. Mm-hmm. Like, I put like a Z.
All of my friends' parents, I'm like, "Hi, Mom."
Like, "Hey, Ma's, hey's this, hey's that," and so it became like that type of thing happened. But then I was like, okay, someday. And since then, I have never been called Mr. Perry. No one in the world has called me Mr. Perry, ever.
Well, because your dad's still around.
Like, no, never. I mean, even when I
even call your parents like Bob and Georgette. Yeah, I could not call.
I've never been called Mr. Perry. Like, I've been waiting. Okay, this is it. I'm going to be. And it's like, "Oh, yes, sir." And they'll look at your thing, instead of saying, "Hello, Mr. Perry, how are you doing today?" It's always, "Hello, Niles, how you doing?" I was like, "Hi." And I have a little, like,
sadness.
Yeah. I kind of, I don't know. I have this thing of, like, nostalgia of, okay, I did it. So now it's my turn to be it. So now it's like, I should be dictating if you call me, you know.
Yeah, I see that.
I think it's tough too, because I have stepkids and they don't really call me dad. Mm-hmm. Like, only my kids call me dad, and then it becomes Niles, and then their friends just go, "Hey, Niles," and I'm like, yeah, okay, like, okay, I get it. Like, but it's like,
have you been around Marin's friends?
Yeah.
What do they call you?
Niles. Oh. Or
oh wow, I get Miss Jeffords all the time. It must be old. Wait, I'm a teacher.
Yeah, well, you're a teacher. Yeah, but that's a teacher thing. Oh, now, all right, now that.
See, I always get the.
Are you okay? I do. Wait a minute. I do have a question with Ashley now, because I remember having a miss in my day, and I feel like we always said Mrs. because every teacher was a Mrs. in my day. Like, when I was
I always said Miss, no matter what.
I feel like everyone was a Mrs. and we had one Miss, and she would correct us all the time. "I'm not a Mrs. I'm a Miss," and she'd be so on top of that. But
see, I was always told that Miss was made women feel better, so I'm like, "Oh, hi, Miss."
Yeah.
Blank, you know.
No, I would always end up, and I got in trouble all the time by her. She's like, "I'm not married," and I'd be like, "But I call everyone Mrs. Like, everyone's a Mrs."
Our Portuguese teacher had a hard last name to say because it's Portuguese.
Yeah.
It's not a hard one, but it's like because there's so many R's in there, it's like, you know.
Exactly.
So there's this one kid who called her. We usually just call her Senora.
Yeah.
There's this one kid who called her Mrs. Senora, which is Mrs. She's always like, honey, you're calling me Mrs. Just call me Senora. He's like, nah.
I want to really give it to you. I really want to give you the whole Mrs. And that's the one thing I don't get. I never get that nostalgia of the Mr. Perry or the Mr.
Is there?
Go ahead.
All right, this is gonna be bad.
Yeah. Why would it change?
Is there Miss and Mrs. in other languages? Yeah. Because what's Senora? That's Mrs., right? So what's Miss and?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, Jesus. Here we go. We haven't even done the song yet. We haven't even done.
Wow.
Thank God we had a topic. Well, I was. Ashley still hasn't responded.
From Portsmouth.
What?
In Portsmouth. What is it called? Excuse me. I don't need that. You gotta
turn on the M. What is that in Portuguese?
Oh, we can't. We can't do this.
Oh yeah, because it's us talking. Perfect.
But then what's Mrs.? Mrs. is Senora, so I don't understand.
Okay, wait a minute. Oh, come on, get that little thing out here. Senora.
That's dumb.
She says Senora.
So M.
So M is Miss.
I guess. M. Oh wait, should I should probably spell it out and not.
Don't ask me. No, but I remember always Mr. and Mrs. all the time. That was always
Senorita.
Senorita, duh. Was that Portuguese or is that Spanish? Because I feel like Sanaria. Oh, Sanaria. Gonorrhea. It's hello, Mrs. Gonorrhea.
Mrs. Senora Gonorrhea.
Come on, get that right.
Right. Okay, that just made a lot more sense in my head.
The gonorrhea?
Yeah. No, the Senorita.
Senorita, yeah. So I couldn't wait for that, and now I feel like
to now's point, I usually let the kids get away with Mrs. once or twice, then I joke around with them saying, "Quit marrying me, I'm a single lady." That's funny. She's like, "I'm proud."
Oh, I found it hard. You know, did this happen to you? Our missus in high school ended up getting married by my senior year and changed her name. So I could never remember her. Well, this was funny. I would walk down the thing and she gets so mad at me because I'm trying to. Of course, now I can only remember her married name because when I say your married name, you're gonna be like. But I would see her and I'd instantly say her maiden name, and she would yell at me, "Why is this so hard for you?" And it's because
this is already what your name was.
Right, but when I tell you what her married name is, you're gonna be like, "What?" Her married name was Perry. What can I would say? I can't remember.
Well, you can't.
I can remember her so clearly. She had big, like she would puff up her hair like that old 80s style when you spray, like it. So it was like extra, not permed, but like tall. And she was sociology and history, and she was really, really skinny. Like she had no body shape. She actually put like remember when it was cool in the 80s to put like the shoulder pads on? She still had them in the 90s, and you're like, because she had like no, like she was one of those really petite women, but she was like a board. Gotcha. Like she didn't have a like body to her, and she was cute as a button. And I remember, and I cannot think of what her name was, and her maiden name, and that's all I used to call her because
she's still there.
I don't know. I don't think anyone's still there from my day. I mean, I do know
baby's there.
Yeah, but she wasn't. She was just coming in when I was leaving. I know, it's like when I talk about stuff.
I'm pretty sure she still works there, or she did when I was in school.
Probably. Is it like she had red hair? She had blonde, like a blondish red hair.
Oh my God, I can't even look her up on Facebook.
I'm trying to think of her name. She was a sociology. She's tiny, and what would be Mrs. Perry? You guys ever had a Mrs. Perry?
I haven't. I had a Mrs. Perry, so I was wondering if it's the same one.
Was she tiny, like a tiny, skinny little? Like, well, even if she gained some weight, because she might have had a kid throughout time.
Was it Rogers?
No,
it wasn't her.
No, definitely not. We're talking about she's really pretty. Like she was a very pretty. Not that lady's not pretty. I'm talking about like.
I almost just exited out Facebook. That would have been dumb.
She was a very, very, very she was one of those teachers. Like, all the guys would be like, sociology was like, and I'm drawing a complete blank, and that's so aggravating me because
okay. I don't think she's there.
Probably not.
Unless she switched
because they
categories.
do that. I'll take English for $500.
What is it? Subjects.
Subjects.
That's what... You couldn't think of it either.
School.
Don't fucking act like you knew the word. You did it. So fuck you.
I didn't, but I definitely knew it wasn't categories.
Whatever.
At
least it was close.
It's like, I'm so glad. No, she retired. Oh, she retired from during COVID, Mrs. Beebe.
Oh, it's not loading over here.
I don't think you had any of my teachers. I had all my teachers were like old.
Look at these ones now.
Mr. Saborin, Mr. Tony Ciccone. There was a chemistry teacher named Tony Ciccone, and he was such a jerk. You remember?
He sounds like he would be.
He was that guy that had to do earth science. Like freshman year, everyone had to do it. And he's like, I'm a chemistry teacher, not an earth science. Here's your notebook. Here's your book, like your book. Read it and do chapter 1. And that's all he would do. Walk in and say, do chapter 2. And then he would go into the back room and he'd just be like...
None of your teachers actually taught, right?
I feel like whatever class I was a class that guy didn't want to be in. I don't think you had Rez.
Fair.
You didn't have Rez. He retired. He was old. Rez was the best, though. You'd be like, Rez, I put my homework on your paper, on your desk. Yeah? How did you think you did on it? Oh, I don't know. It was really hard. I'm lucky if I got
Oh, good. Ashley's watching.
I would be like, oh, I'm lucky if I got a C. All right. And he would write C on this thing. And I'd be like, I was like, oh, I knew this one. I definitely aced this one. Oh, yeah. And then you see him write it. He's like, I'm sure it's on the desk.
That's why I couldn't be a teacher. I feel like. All right.
All the time he was like...
I had a fucking teacher, a chemistry teacher, who we would check each other's homework. The partner I had, we never did the homework.
Oh, see? She had to... her internet was buffering.
Maybe that was my problem.
Buffering.
Yeah. But yeah, so we, like, the girl next to me, we're like, you do the homework? No. You do the homework? No. We did the homework.
Yeah.
Because, like, she's not checking it. Why am I going to do the homework? Why am I going to waste my time? I copied off this bitch the entire year. And then we had mandatory extra credit.
Oh, yeah.
We had to, like, I don't remember what it was. I never did it.
Okay. I will tell you.
It's not extra credit if it's mandatory.
Have I told you my English story? My English teacher story?
Probably. But go ahead.
Oh, no. Well, I don't want to say it repeat. I feel like I don't want to repeat on this thing.
Well, start telling me.
I had an English teacher, and she might have been there. It's Mrs. O'Keefe.
I think she just retired.
Okay, well, she was a student teacher her first year when I was a freshman.
Mm-hmm.
And our English class was on the last...
You have told us.
Oh, okay. All right, I won't tell you that.
Never mind.
No, all right. Okay. No, I don't want to repeat it. If I already told it, it's not funny when you have to repeat it all the time.
If you haven't told us, Dad definitely has it.
Oh.
Wait, was she the one that left all the time?
No.
Oh.
No. And Dad wasn't in. Gary wasn't in that one with us. I was in there by myself with Rusha and Donnell.
Okay.
And I was in the back, and we had third lunch, and she would always go, "I'm starving. I can't wait to third lunch." She goes, "You can bring your lunch."
Yeah, you did tell the story recently, actually.
Yeah.
Well, now I ruined the mood.
I know.
Wait, okay.
Well, that's not the new.
Let's go back to the original why we started talking about this.
Right.
We were talking about Pat Grant.
Yes. And you and I were trying to figure out what he went through the many topics.
Oh my fucking God.
So she didn't know that Pat had gone to college for a bunch of things, which is fine because
I knew he went to college for a bunch of things. I didn't know what they were.
It was. So I was
everything that you told me.
So we were like, well, he went for serve. The first thing he did was I said he went for, and we're looking at each other, and she goes, "Go ahead." And I was like, "It's not archaeology. Archaeology is about like digging up stuff." And you were like, "No, it's not. It's like building houses." And I was like, "No, that's something else." he wanted to like do the plans for building houses, and you said, and I said, no, archaeology is the science of like digging up like Indiana Jones. You're like, no, we literally looked up everything we can look up, and it would tell us construction,
architecture.
Architecture. There you go. So I told you it wasn't archaeology. So for once, I wasn't the dumb one in the room.
I know, but I was looking for the study of it.
Right.
I guess it's just architecture. It's not like ology of anything. But go ahead.
Right. And then I said he left that.
And then building science. There's no ology in that at all. Perfect.
Good Lord. I know. This is how we do things when we're trying to literally when I walk through the door. And you were like, well,
next time text me what word you need help with. You were at a meeting.
Yeah, you were busy. And then I said to you, then he became he wanted to go to school for surveying. Mm-hmm. And then I said he also went to school to be a disc jockey. And you must have fell on the floor laughing.
I had to walk away.
I knew you did. You were like, no, he didn't. I was like, yeah, can you picture Pat being a disc jockey?
I said, he had the midnight to 3 a.m. at the radio.
Early bird specials, guys.
It was mostly commercials. Because why not? Who's listening at that hour anyways?
Oh my God. I remember him going to school. Yeah, but he said to me, he's like, I'm going to be a disc jockey, and I was
DJ. I can picture.
Can you picture? I'm going to spin another one for you people out there today.
He's like, yeah, DJ Pat. I was like, Patty. No, I was like, he can't be Pat.
Yeah, he can't be Pat. Yeah. Patty
Grant.
Patty Grant.
Patsy.
I wish everyone knew Pat.
Patty Soft.
He's so like stiff and big.
Oh yeah.
Can you imagine?
How long did he go for that?
I don't know. I just
long.
remember. I think, you know what? He probably was trying to say something to me about it. Like, I'm going in and I was supposed to react. And I was like, all right. Like, look at myself like, I'm going to listen to us, patient.
And which one do you plan to be on?
Oldies or 101? Back with Patty Grant.
It's just like a talk.
It's just him. Today. And then we had a good laugh. I was like, what does he do for a living? You're like, he's a manager at a restaurant. And we're like, perfect.
It's a grocery store.
Oh, it's a grocery store. Perfect, even better. See, all those things got prepared for this. Yeah. And I remember him, poor kid. It's not easy.
I love the guy, but
let's not push it.
A DJ.
I know, DJ. I see your dad being a DJ, but
how did Mary let that happen?
Oh no, I don't know. But I don't even know if it happened. I don't even know if that happened. I swear, I remember him saying because he was he was going to Roger Williams, and he says, "Oh, I'm going to be a disc jockey," and I went, "You're going to Roger Williams for being a disc jockey?" Like I remember being like, "You need to go to school for that?"
I was just about to say, I didn't want to say it, but I just
thought you just buy shit and you just
start doing it.
You just know it,
yeah,
like
you.
Yeah.
Is there a class on how much you earn? You know,
if the bed goes, forget it, fucking.
I can just picture him being at like a nightclub, right?
Oh, sorry, I did it.
And then like it's his shift for the, and then everybody just leaves.
No, I can picture it now. We're going to get funky tonight. It's all da-na-na-na-na.
No, it's this song. You raise me up.
DJ at Roger Williams.
Did he stay on campus too? I bet he did.
Can you imagine him coming out with one of those like fishing hats? Like the jumpsuits and the fucking gold chain. DJ Patty.
Oh my god.
Ashley, if you're not laughing at this, I don't
She's
know.
probably pissing herself.
You're not laughing at this. I don't know because
I didn't read that even the oldies are too modern for Pat.
He's like, I'm playing the newest hit by Bach.
He's actually playing it.
He's on a fucking harpsichord. I'm getting fresh with you.
For some reason, I picture him with the old earphones.
Oh no!
I'm sweating. I
have never laughed so hard. No, the only time I ever found him ever that funny was when we were at Cumberland Farms and I walked by him and said, "Hello, Mr. Grant."
That was an old man even when he was in his 20s.
Yeah. No, you want to hear something funny? Shannon and I are walking and we see now. I know you two know this, but Pat and I have a relationship. We like each other, but we get on each other's nerves very fast.
The more I picture it, the funnier it gets. Dude, same.
We have a oil and water. Like, we get along, but we can't be together too long. Mm-hmm. I love him. I've never said anything horrible about him, except the DJ thing. And I walked by him. I said, "Hello, Mr. Grant." He says, "Hello, Mr. Perry," like we do. We kind of keep everything kind of like so we don't get ticky-tack. Shannon's talking to me like, "Oh, how do you know that guy?" And I was like, "Oh, that's Pat." And I forgot that she hadn't met Pat. So I walk over and I said, "Oh, hey, Shannon, this is Pat. Pat, this is..." And she goes, "Whose dad is this?" I went, "What?" I said, "This is my friend from high school." She goes, "Oh, I thought that was his dad." I never laughed so hard. I was like, "Dude, you look so old. You're older than me." And I think he's a month younger than I am too.
Oh. I mean this in the most respectful way possible, but it's because Pat doesn't have a funny bone in his body.
I know.
It's because look who his mother is.
Oh no, he is so. Yeah, but I'm going to say something, and I will stick up for Pat because we are somewhat friends, but Mary and Ron had Pat at a later life in life. Mary protected him. We were in 8th grade. He couldn't even walk around on the dead end where he lived. He had to stay in the fence yard. He was very protected. And then his father's a police officer. So by the time he was out to do stuff, we were afraid that if he got caught, his father was still on the force.
Yeah.
He was leaving the force, but we were like, go! But he still had stuff that... So
also connected.
He just never got to really fly because of... I remember a lot of times when we all got in trouble, Pat would get in trouble, and it was like, Mary come out like, I give you this freedom, and this is what you do with it. And we're like, we're just high school kids being stupid, But I'm showing all respect to Pat. A lot of time is because he really didn't get to. I mean, so his bad stuff was like mild.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so it was him being a rebel, but it was like
was him being a DJ a rebel?
I'll never
DJ Rebel. Patty.
Chewy. Oh God.
So sorry, Pat.
No,
I'm not.
No, I'm not. I'm not sorry.
I'm sorry, just so
you don't
easy.
like me anyway half the time. So this is just one another time. But he is so. I do have a great Pat story. I've told him on the bus a couple of times. I don't care. He says, we were in high school. He says, "I broke up with Steph," and I went, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that." He's like, "But I did it classy." And I said, "Oh yeah." He's like, "Yeah, I drove. Where the industrial park is in Portsmouth?" He's like, "I drove over there. You know that ledge? That like little ledge to go off of, like where people park?" And I told her, and I said, "You parked in front of the garbage?" Because the ledge was the garbage. So you parked in front of the garbage? Dump your girlfriend? Like... 20 minutes.
He dumped her.
20 minutes of laughing. And she's like, "It was nice. We could see the stars and smell the dump."
Dumped her right into the dump.
She goes, and he goes, and where did you dump your girlfriend? Oh.
Pat logs off the live after being teased for 20 minutes straight.
No, Pat has to actually be on it
I was
first.
gonna say.
Pat doesn't even know.
He's even on Facebook.
He is. He has
He
the account, but yeah, but it's always him. Yeah, and then I remember him goes, well, where did you take your girlfriend to break up? And we had broken up at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I said, I took her to Bretton Point, and we had a serious talk, and we talked about stuff before I said, I didn't take her to the dump. It was a nice, everyone goes there to make out. I was like, yeah, because no one, like, why would you go there?
Happens.
She's like, been there twice.
Texting my go-to.
My go-to.
All the times I've never dumped someone.
But if I did, I'd right to that
there. I got the coordinates down.
Just ask Pat for directions. Just play his hot mixtape.
Yeah. Don't go break.
No, I'm sorry, it's mixed CD because we're in the future. Yeah. He's like, I burnt this just for you.
It's actually a Spotify playlist.
Oh my god. Killed me. Oh,
how did
man.
we get to this? Raise me up. Oh, because I was setting that up. That's crooked. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, when you lifted it up, I told you slightly, and you went, "This is the best we're going to do," and I said, "Okay."
No, you didn't. You said it's spot on.
No, I said it was spot on when you were done. I said, "But you needed to lift it up."
And I said, "Is it straight till?" You said
here
yes.
we go. With the Pat thing.
No, it wasn't. You fucking bitch. Anyway, so I was raising this thing up, and the song "You Raise Me Up" got stuck in my head.
Yes.
And I sang lyrics. I'm like, "Is that?
Yes.
Are those the words?"
Right. And I said, I have no recollection to like. I know what song it is, but I know it's on a commercial. So I was like, I really don't know.
So I was like, I'm gonna look it up. The entire song is
which we literally spent 20 minutes laughing at this.
Yes.
Before we even went on.
Yes.
Is that the lyrics is what?
Except for the first verse.
2, 3, 4. 4 lines.
There's 5 verses.
Right, but the first 4 lines is actually words, and then the next verses are just repeating.
Yeah. Okay, so out of 5 verses, one of them doesn't have "You Raise Me Up," and it's the first one, and I don't even know how the beginning starts.
I know
because I only know that "You Raise
She's
Me
like,
Up."
Let's sing it. I was like, I don't know how it starts. She's like, I don't know either. She's like, I just know the "Raise Me Up" part.
I can't even play it because.
Hold on, let me find out if Pat's on the air. You know he had to spin this once or twice.
Ashley, can you come on here and sing it to me? Like I can read them, obviously, but I just don't know how that goes in my head. Just the "Raise Me Up" part.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Isn't it a church song?
Most religious songs are formatted that way. Yeah, I'm sure it is, but why is the first one?
It's because most
different?
people that go to church has gone out on Saturday and they're so tired, so they can't. You have too many words.
True.
Like
they were
raise me up. Oh Jesus Christ! Okay.
They were out late and they came home during Pat's shift.
They're like, hold on, is the harpsichord on? Let me bump this. Let me throw some lyrics on this.
You raise me up so I can stand on the mountain. You raise me up to walk a stormy sea.
Can you sign this?
No, I can't. I can only do Amazing Grace.
Oh my God.
Did I tell you that my grandma wants me to do that at her funeral? And Papa's funeral?
I hope not "Raise Me Up."
No, she wants me to do
Sign.
Yeah.
What song do you know?
Amazing Grace, because that's what I did for my senior project, and she like bawled her eyes out during it. Which okay, fine.
She starts crying. I'm leaving.
That'd be so funny. No.
You'd be like,
that'd be so crazy to see Ashes do that.
Oh my my God, this
We got you
hydrated.
sweating.
I got hydrated.
Grandma? But she was like...
Should she be dust in the wind?
Should be. I'm gonna learn it just for you.
What?
I'm gonna learn it just for you.
I know. Because
I'm gonna learn Raise Me Up.
And I want to actually be embalmed standing.
Perfect.
So you can actually like stand behind me.
Yeah, we're just gonna like raise it.
It's like a
It's
jack.
just your dick. Church songs were mostly created when people couldn't read, so they kept words simple enough for people to remember. She's such a fucking Debbie Downer. I don't fucking care where it came from.
She's like, people can't read, so they just kept doing it.
Amen. Can't either. I'm just kidding. I love you. You're not Debbie Downer.
That's what happens when you have DJ Patty Pat with the mixer. Woo. The mixer.
He skips the beginning. You raise me up. It gets slower for some reason.
Sorry, we got this on high.
Oh my god.
You don't have enough harpsichord. Put that bitch on.
My cheeks hurt.
I had to tell you, I've never laughed so hard when you looked at me like, you did what? You were like so serious.
I literally looked at you and I'm like, I gotta walk away.
I know. You were so serious. You're like, what? I was like, yeah, I know. Because I remember he said he was going to be a disc jockey. And I was like, what? And you walked away. Like, you just walked out the kitchen completely. And I just stood there like, I don't think she knew.
I did.
And I remember being like,
listen, you ask questions, I answer them. You say you don't care. You ask questions, I don't answer them. You get mad when I don't respond. And that's the dynamic. So I don't know what you want from me.
Listen, she's having a hard day. She just found out Patson.
I missed it the whole time.
Yeah, he went to 3 classes to become a teacher. I just want to know, what were they teaching in class?
I don't
know.
know.
How to plug everything in?
Probably. I can see them like slicing music together. That's it. But you need 4 years of that.
Like I don't.
Or I guess you could go probably for 2, but
I don't know how long he was. I don't actually even know if he graduated from college. I'm not. He might have, and I'm not trying to talk trash. I don't know, but I just know when he ever said, "Yeah, I'm going for that," I was like, "What happened to the surveying?"
Well, wasn't surveying after?
Yes, I think it was after. I guess he didn't cut it. No one wanted.
I remember walking around Dad's neighborhood. I'll put it. You know what Dad said to me the other day?
Oh God, no.
So,
God help me.
You're right. I need to be more sensitive during these times of distress. Picturing Pat going to college and becoming a DJ is definitely a time of distress. It is.
It was one of the funniest things. The only other funny thing I've ever had was when he was leaving to go to New York to go to college, and he was in my living room, and we had been partying because it was.
Could you mind if he went to New York to be a disc jockey?
That would make more sense. And I remember him saying, "My mom told me." He's like, "My mom told me I can't hang out with you guys anymore because you're not going to college. You're not going to go somewhere. So we all can't be friends." And Dave and I were like, "Okay, works for us." Bye.
Yeah, fair enough.
I was like, "See you on the flip side, or side B if you're a disc jockey someday."
Also, you're on the
Because I'm out of here.
Scratch that.
Out of here. I'm out of here.
This is too easy.
He is too easy.
Such an easy target.
I know, and he gets so mad.
He's Irish.
Every single time I get him mad, he turns all red, even the bald spot. He's all red, and I go. And he, I know. because he goes like flame on.
Oh yeah.
He's
redder than your freaking.
Oh yeah,
drink.
he gets mad. I love it too. He just looks at me like,
because you just got that little extra step too.
Yeah, I do all the time, and always with Pat, and wherever the line is, I'm taking 3 steps over.
Oh yeah.
All the time. And your dad's usually the one like, you have to get him going. I'm like, yes, I do.
Sure do, partner.
The worst was when he was married to Steph, because I feel like Steph started doing it with me. And we would like really rank on him. And then I was like, dude, even your own wife is like dogging you.
Yeah.
Like, it's time to go home. He'd be like,
yeah. Poor guy.
No.
If you don't want to be a target, don't make it that easy. That's all I'm saying.
I felt for him because I felt like they had a plan for him. And this is always a bad thing for any kid. And I say this for every adult out there that has kids. When you have a plan and you're trying to keep your kid on the plan, and it's like, well, this is going to make you billions of dollars if you do this. And then he was so guaranteed, like gung-ho about doing this. And then he's like, I can't do the math. It's too hard. Like it's way out of my, like it's too hard.
Yeah.
And then he came home and I felt like he was really lost because like all the promises of the promised land was like out of reach for him. And then it was like, I don't know about him, but I felt he got very like, Mom, you promised. And it didn't cut it out. And then it was like, okay, we'll go to plan B. And that didn't. And then plan C. And I felt bad for him because I felt like if he just kind of did what your dad, me, Dave did of just going out in the world and trying to conquer it instead of trying to get this. Because I know in my day, it was like if you go to college and you go for stuff, you're going to be successful. And a lot of kids I went to high school became successful and when they went to college. I just felt like he was going down a wrong college road. If he had just gone down a different road or not gone at all, it would have been different.
Yeah.
Because I've had, later on in life, I got a really good friend named Reed who graduated, salutatorian? With second, not, valedictorian is when you're like number one in class.
I didn't go to college.
No, it's in high school too.
I didn't pay attention.
I didn't go to high school either.
I got in, I got out. That's all right.
I believe it's valedictorian is one, and the salutatorian is like getting like a second chair to kind of deal.
I don't think we did that, but go ahead.
What's that?
I don't think we did that.
You had to, because your valedictorian and salutatorian do speeches at your graduation.
We had somebody picked to do the second one, like a class.
Oh, okay.
Pick.
So maybe you didn't have someone close enough to be salutatorian, I guess. I don't know.
Want to be the second person?
Yeah, but it doesn't always mean that, because you have to have so much. Like you can't miss so many days of school. You have to have like a certain type of grade to even be a valedictorian. Like it's just not the best kid in class. You know, it's not like, I went to school for 4 days straight.
No, I get that.
I'm sure Ashley will figure out the exact.
Yeah, tell us what we had.
Sorry,
it just hit me that there's a chance that he's still paying off his student loans for probably trying to become a DJ.
Now we know what he does in late night. Where's Pat at night? Choo, choo, choo. He's at raves. He's like, it's all these lights going. He's like, raise me up.
It's just the lights.
It's just him with a strobe light. And like one person dancing.
His dad.
It's rad.
It's at the nursing home.
Can you lower that? Yeah, it's almost on 2.5. You gotta lower.
Honey, it is 7 o'clock. Can you quiet down?
He sets up at 4 before dinner's served.
He plays during dinner. Everybody goes to their room. Oh, fuck.
Oh, God. This has to be the Grant episode. DJ Grant.
DJ Patty Grant.
Patty Grant.
Patty Pat. What'd you say?
Wait a minute.
Portsmouth changed how they pick someone to speak at graduation.
Okay.
Usually the higher grade point average, they went away with using the word valedictorian.
Oh, okay.
And then a class votes on someone else.
Okay, sorry. Yeah. But in my day, it was valedictorian, South.
Yeah.
And he, in college at Penn State, got salutatorian. And I remember he was so
salad Victorian.
Right? Is Sala? Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Salutatorian.
It's the follow-up or whatever. Sorry. The
salad Victorian.
I thought it was Sal because the kid who won it was George Wong. He's like, just call me Sal. And he got in so much trouble because at the very end he said, "Rock them in the free world," and we're like, this little Chinese kid came out of nowhere. It was like, this guy's badass. And they have to read, and he had memorized a whole different speech.
Oh, perfect.
And he went with the speech they gave him because they handed it to him. And, and the principal behind him was like, it was priceless.
I was watching a show. I'm going to cut you off. I was watching a show, and this was a bad show. Like, this was like good in my day, but now watching, I'm like,
oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about too. You're like, oh, Jesus.
And the valedictorian was like the bad kid in school, but like I shouldn't say the bad kid. He was like
the smart kid, but
he was very smart. He went to school all the time, but like he had a problem life, so he was like the bad guy, you know? Right. And then like his speech, like he had a girlfriend, accidentally had a baby. They accidentally had a baby in high school.
Okay.
And then she's a year younger than him. But then like he proposes during his valedictorian speech. I'm like, who is letting this happen? Who is letting that happen? That would never happen in real life.
Okay, I don't, because now we're on this.
Hi, Kelly.
No, right? Now we're on this tangent now.
Yeah.
How was it in your day? Because I know Ashley graduated between us, but in my day, I always got the lecture was graduation was for our parents, not for us. And it wasn't for us to celebrate. It wasn't for us to be happy. It was for us to show our parents that we crossed the stage so they can be proud. So we would have to give up our speeches. They would actually, Mr. Flood, which I don't think you had because he retired when my senior year, actually somewhat.
Stop flooding.
He was a jerk. He was a real jerk because back in the day, he used to have like a military ring and he would crack you in the head if you were bad. Damn. He would go bam right in the back of your head and be like, ugh! And it would sting because it was like the size of like, I mean, like it felt like that big, but I know it's just, but
I've always said that. And he was flooding, all right. Sorry, go ahead.
Is that you? So, and he actually did a little before we walked out, like a little pat. Like he would pat us on the like hips, each one of us, guys and girls. But I mean, not private, like side hips, to make sure there was nothing under our gowns.
Yeah.
To do something dumb.
Okay.
Because he was like, no balloons, no nothing, and
we had to get our ropes checked for like cigars or like anything like that because you can't do cigars on the.
Well, we couldn't have like anything in it because it wasn't our thing. And then I remember asking, I wasn't class president, thank God, because the class president at the time said, "Can you believe that they asked for our speech?"
As Ashley says.
What it says?
We had the same mindset. They even made us unzip our graduation robes before we went into the gym to prove we weren't hiding anything, i.e. booze, air horns, confetti, cannons, etc.
Jesus, what the hell kind of confetti cannons?
Well, I'm sure it happened once.
No, it didn't happen in our day.
But I'm sure it happened once for this to happen.
Well, they did that. I mean, if it did, it had to be in 1970 something because before me, they were patting me down.
I understand that, but
so
it could have been like even after
something,
you.
I guess. I don't know, but no, because they've always seemed to be that way. They were always like, run, run, run. And I remember they were like, oh, they check all your speeches, and they went over everything, and they're like, they would hand you your speech when you went up and say, you have to read this. And I remember when George Wong came up, he sat down, like he stood up and put down the piece of paper and started reading. I was like, oh, they're allowing this? And he just started going. And the principal behind him is standing up and walking, and he just started talking faster and faster, and then he was like, "Rocket Free Run!" We were like, "Yeah!" Like, that's so fun! And he actually got grabbed by the collar and like somewhat escorted off. I don't think he got that much because it wasn't any swears, but it was a lot of like live life, fly, do it. Like I assume
nothing that the guy wrote.
I literally would love to see what he wrote because it's not because the principal got up and grabbed them by the scruff. So I just like I would pay.
The kids are allowed to write their own speech now, but it has to be like approved.
That's what it was. But he took them, and then I saw him pass it to him when they were walking up.
I think they already just had him on.
And I know I'm just saying
for us. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Don't forget I graduated in '94, so I'm like, and I just remember thinking they're going, and then we had Ron Makeley talk because his daughter graduated with us, and he talked about something about a bird, and I fell asleep. Like I was just like, he's like, and we're all birds, and I'm like, okay. I was done. It was a very I was done by that time too.
I wasn't there for.
I wasn't there. Like I
started next to people I didn't even know were in my class.
I have to be honest with you. Well, I will say we had a big drug bust, but they kept every senior function arresting another kid. So like the prom, they arrested someone. At the picnic, at the like everything we did, they had someone. And then when we graduated, there was all these empty chairs.
Had like 5 people left.
Yeah, I know, because we were all like. But I remember going, just done. Like I just, if I could do it over again, I probably would tell my mom, I ain't going. Screw them. Like I'm not giving the satisfaction because I really didn't have fun. It was just me. And then it was like I was getting it, so I was smiling because I knew people were taking pictures. But in my head, I was like, "This is like the last place I want to be." And I was like, and I knew, and listen, my mom and my dad are the biggest supporters in my life all the time, even as an adult. But I graduated high school. My parents weren't up my ass about, they were like, "Hey, you got to graduate high school if you want to get a job," like that type of attitude. But it was all me, and if I didn't do it, I had to live with the consequences. And if I did it, then I lived with whatever happened. And it was more of but I never felt like it was them. I'm sure they thought like, yeah, you're an asshole. We need to get you over that.
Yeah.
But I was like, yeah.
I never understood the it's for your parents part either.
Yeah, I never understood that.
Because I did all the work.
Like, I see other schools, they write little messages on their hat. Thank you, Mom.
Why can't we fucking do that?
You can't do that. They were like,
I think this year they're finally allowing the things on the hats.
Like, I never understood that. Like, what
I was so mad.
How does that hurt anybody? Like, how does that hurt?
I can see. I mean,
I mean, not F you. I mean, I wouldn't be like F you Portsmouth. I mean, like, you have to have some type of class. And I mean, I understand it. But, like, I don't know what the big deal with balloons. Like, just all these things. Well, I understand the booze, but air horns? Like, really? Who the F cares? Like, air horns.
Ooh, that scared the shit out of me.
Oh, I got scared. DJ Patty Pat.
He comes, you raise me up.
But I hated that. I was like, what's the big deal with that stuff? And they were so like, and I was just hated it. I hated all that. And then the other thing was we had Mr. Lucas who kept taking stuff away every year. So my freshman year was magical, which I talked about last time. And then, but by the time I got to my senior year, I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Don't even want to be here. Out. Which is sad. Like,
I took all the easy classes my last year.
I took all of my freshman year.
That's where you fucked up.
No, because by my senior year, I was good because I worked it out that I had hard classes, but I had the easy teachers. Oh. So, like, I had res for three classes, and I was like, Res, I put that in. But they were all math classes. I was thinking like 3 math classes, not like, and I was like, yeah. And I was like, hey, I actually did him a favor. I used to clean his stuff, so you'd lock me in the bathroom. So I'd be in there for 3 classes. Sometimes I'd be like, okay, come out, and like I did that type of shit.
Yeah. I guess you got lucky there.
I maneuver stuff a lot. I was a library aide. I did a lot of, and now I don't think you can do the same with your credits. Because in my day, you could do certain things for credit, like like you didn't need.
I think you could go to the guidance counselors and do something during like your study or
Yeah,
something,
like
and then that would like act as a credit or
right.
something.
There are certain things you could do and
I was
not
like,
do.
I'm not giving up my study for that. Fuck you.
Oh, really? I gave up my studies for like being a library aide, which I got credit for. I got credit for doing like I did everything, anything you could think of, like besides doing something. Because every study that I had a freaking like Nazi teacher that was like, sit straight, do homework, have a book out, do something, and I'm like,
know. I had easy study teachers.
oh, that's nice.
But I had study.
McLaughlin, Mrs. McLaughlin, or Mc something. It was Mick something, the little teacher. Okay. It was like, I had something like that. Now I gotta go in my yearbook and check this out now. McLaughlin, yeah.
I had study first period one time. First day of school, first period. What the fuck am I doing? I doodled the entire time.
Oh,
and they're like, you gotta work on something. Yeah. I'm like, what do you want me to work on?
Period. I hated that. I hated
that because that's not enough time. Like, what if I don't have enough time to finish my homework?
Yeah.
I had that anxiety.
Yeah.
I also had a teacher that, like, if you didn't turn in the homework, you get detention with her. So, like, that's what I freaked out about. And then I had it last period. I'm not fucking doing anything else that day. No, thank you.
No.
Unless, like, I had work. Sometimes I did it.
I just felt like I remember I had gotten a new truck because of horse showing, and I was working. I was actually shipping horses too. Mm-hmm. And I had bought a brand new Ford XLT, had an 8-foot bed instead of a 6-foot bed. I had an extended cab. Like, this thing was like, it took up 2 parking places with my horse trailer.
Yeah.
Pitch on it. And I remember him was like, why does a kid your age need a truck this big? And I was like, because I do, like, I ride horses and I blah, blah, blah. And he's like, but I don't think you need it that big. I was like,
what's to overcompensate?
Like, I'm like, listen, it doesn't matter what you think I have. This is what I have to drive.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, you can't park here. And then I just rebelled all the, like, he just always got under my, and I think the problem of him really busting on me was, I get so mad because the guy before I told you was so nice to me, and like, hey, as long as you're a good kid, and do what you're supposed to do, why am I gonna bust your ass? This guy was like, you gotta play by the rules and get in this nice little box, and I was like, no, I'm not getting this box. Like, no way. And it was just it wasn't fun. I just remember each year when each thing was taken away, just hating more and more, and just being like, and to this day, besides the auditorium to watch my kids sing, I had never been in high school.
I don't blame you.
I just have no desire. And they fixed it up, and they said, oh, have you been in the new gym? I'm like, no. Do you want to see the new gym?
When are we going to stop calling it the new gym?
Well, I don't know what to call it, because I know it's
the old. We all call it the new gym.
What happened to the old gym?
It's still a gym.
Oh, it's still a gym. I don't know. I have zero clue what happened.
They don't use it for like gym class per se usually.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't even know. I was like,
sometimes. Well, when they do flu shots and stuff, they set up in there. Oh. Because nobody else is using it.
I don't even know. I just know
from you still use, except for the seniors, you still use the lockers in the old gym.
Those nice. Those. Oh my God! Did you see what Brian put on his thing? I need to talk to you about this. About skipping class. And sleeping. Yeah. Sleeping.
First of all, any bathroom. No, not even my own.
Stop. Rewind here. Okay, because they don't know what I'm talking about, right?
They, as in actually.
Yeah. we got 2 people.
Is Georgette still on?
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
He put a picture up. Do you remember when you used to skip class to sleep on the bathroom floor?
Wait, give the class some context. Sorry, she's going.
Yes. So he shows. There's a picture of these 2 kids sleeping on the bathroom floor. Mm-hmm. Okay, now I will want to say right now, that bathroom floor
looks perfect.
Was fucking clean.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know the 3 of us went to Portsmouth. No, I wouldn't even sit, because I don't know about you, but I used to walk into the bathroom and I would go right away. Why is the floor wet? What is it wet with? Is it water? Is it piss? Like, why is
it water?
What is wet? Because every time I walked into the boys' bathroom, the floor was always wet.
I don't know if it was wet per se.
And there's always black.
The only time I
like it was like off-white, nasty black.
The only time I went to the bathroom at school is if it was an absolute emergency.
Well, yeah, I will have to say I've gone to the bathroom because I'm a guy and I can stand, so it's not that bad. I know, but I just remember going when he put that. I was like, there's no. I have to tell you that even if a shooter came in, I'd probably be like, yeah, I'm dead. I'm not sitting on the floor. Because if I sit on the floor, I'm still going to get like some bacteria.
Yeah, you may as well be dead.
I'm like, just
you're not dead now. You're going to be dead tomorrow. So. But that's just so gross.
Like, that is so.
You never know.
Who did that? But the floor they sleep on, I was like, well, the floor in the picture is so clean.
But in my head, it's like a toilet definitely will float in here. At one time. You can disinfect all you want.
I know.
Absolutely the fuck.
I know. I still wouldn't. But the fact that the floor was clean, I was like, my bathroom, what school? This school must have just
brand
got
new.
built.
It was a new just day one.
I was like, and we were lucky to have a bathroom open in our wing. Because I used to lock them all and you used to be like, every morning, be like, the B wing bathroom's going to be open today. So anytime you had to go anywhere, you had to go to the B wing or the A wing because they would change it up because it was whoever was on duty to make sure no one was smoking.
Gotcha.
And I was like, smoking is the least of my problems.
It could be fully renovated, never used bathroom. Still now. Honestly, because you just never know.
I agree, but I will give the saying that it wasn't nasty, but I know the little square tiles that were like off-white, they probably were supposed to be white. And all the grout used to be like a black.
Well, in that picture, it's like cement too.
I know. Like all solid cement and not tiles. Yeah. But every time I would walk in there, I remember saying to whoever I was with, because it's always, I felt like when I went to school, when they started locking the bathrooms, I felt like you had like a chance of it was like, okay, everyone go to the bathroom type of deal. Like, it'd be like, oh shit, if we don't go now. It's like we're like in elementary school. And I remember being like, I feel like I'm a little kid. Remember when you used to have to line up to go to the bathroom or line up for water? Yeah. You know, I remember that. Oh, you got 5 seconds in the water. You're trying to inhale the water. You're like, ah.
You're like, what? Get in the fridge?
Because there was like no water pressure. There was nothing. I hated that.
And everyone's mouth is on.
And it's fucking green. And it's like oh. I remember like turning, and then the worst part was never cold. And then God forgive if you got the one cold one. Oh my God, you would spend like, and it was shooting up. Oh, I was like, no, bitch, I got 10 seconds here. You're like, nah, it's got to move. I'm like, nope. Because if it was shooting up high, I was drinking it. If it was too low,
I've always said that.
I was like, no way.
But I always had I had the taste in my mouth, and I cannot describe what it tastes like.
That like.
It's not even metal can. It's not even metal can. It's like
I know. It's like that
rusty.
It's that green tarnish. It's
like drinking a penny.
It's like you're drinking a penny. You're like, this is the best cold penny I've ever had in my life. And now kids are like, oh, I walk around with a bottle with
and
ice.
they have like the refillable.
And then you just press a button and it fills up the bottle.
You don't even have to. You just fill.
I know, like.
How gross are those, though?
I know.
Who's cleaning that? Because I know it's probably the same amount of germs.
I know.
Having 3 seconds at the water fountain in our generation of I had to walk to school. I literally tell the kids I teach all the time that they will not perish if they go 20 minutes without water.
I know.
Amen.
Screw you, Ashley.
That is true, though. Like, that is our thing.
I remember being a little kid and lining up to go to the bathroom and being like, it's your turn. And then they would
You know what they're doing now?
No.
Middle school and high school, everybody has the Chromebooks now, right?
Right.
You have to, you still have to ask the teacher to go.
Right.
But there's a little thing on your computer. You have to set the timer. You have 7 minutes. Turn the timer around. And if you're not back before that 7 minutes, then you get in trouble. Which 7 minutes is a long time.
Yeah. Well, it all depends where you have to go.
Yeah, I guess.
Because if it's right outside the door, that's a long time.
Yeah.
Because usually...
I would still take those 7 minutes, though.
you're like synchronizing your watch, your phone. You're like beep 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 beep. Tea time.
Said 6 minutes. Signing up to go to the bathroom is still a thing for lower elementary age schools. I mean, yeah, it makes sense though.
Yeah. No,
because
you
kids
gotta
have like
line
this
up.
big of a bladder, so
I know, and it's always like, and then God forgive, you have to ask. That's always like, it's always instant. Like, do you have to go?
Yeah.
Do you have to go? No, I've been faking it. I used to
Literally
always
5.
be. You know what I always thought when I was a kid? You ever seen those memes where they go, "Hey, like Amazon, did you not get your package?" And they show like all these like the spot where it's not, like the thing that like, look, I don't have it.
Yeah.
Like I always felt like that's what I felt like when I would ask to go to the bathroom. Do you have to go? I'd be more happy just to pee in front of you to show you I have to go.
Yeah.
Like, because I would go, why would I ask to go if I didn't want to go? Like, I don't have to go to the bathroom.
I remember one time I was I in kindergarten? I don't know. I was younger.
Right.
I was in elementary school, and I asked to go to the bathroom during class. And I had been in kindergarten. Anyways, near the library.
We've all been in kindergarten. Well, I had been in kindergarten once.
No, I think when this happened, I think I was in kindergarten.
Okay.
By the library, they had like this like thing on the wall.
Oh yeah.
And I got distracted, and I was looking at all the stuff on the wall on my way to the bathroom.
Oh.
And the teacher was like, "What are you doing?" And from then on, I did not ask to go to the bathroom again. I only went during.
Did I tell you what happened to Marin on Halloween?
Did she pee herself?
No.
What?
She went in as Alice in Wonderland as the cat, right?
Yeah.
And so she said she had to go to the bathroom. And so the teacher said, absolutely, you can go.
That's right.
Well, she was in the bathroom for a long time, and she went in. She goes, what's the problem? She goes, I had to poop, and it's hard to get on and off this costume. Because it was one piece. And the teacher's like, she was so honest.
You're like, that a girl.
And I was like, well,
sorry about it.
What did you want? Yeah. Like, now you know why it took her 10 minutes in the bathroom, because she had to poop, and she had to take off the full bodysuit and put on the
poop sometimes takes a long time.
It's like, now you know why girls with rompers are in the bathroom for like 6 hours.
She could just pull to the side,
like, you had to get undressed and got take a shit and get dressed. The teacher said, okay. She goes, I walked back to the classroom with tears in my eyes, like, well, she's right. Like, like, what? She's like, I've never had someone be so honest with me. I'm like, yeah, well, that's me and my kid. Why am I going to lie to you? I'm taking a shit, lady. The fucking costume got 20 minutes.
Does she remember that?
I don't know.
You should ask her.
I will.
Honestly, from a teacher standpoint, a lot of kids will ask to go as a way of getting out of doing work. Yeah, I get that. Yeah. The teacher probably was laughing for so long after Marin said that. I bet she brought it up at the next teacher happy hour.
I know, she probably did. And she did. And I remember her says, you have a very honest daughter. And I was like,
sorry about it.
I kind of just thought to myself, like, well, she probably did what I thought. Like, A, get in trouble. B, just tell the truth. Or C, come up with some line that's not going to get me very far.
Yeah.
And she probably like, screw it. Hey, I got to take a dump. And I, like, trying to put on and on this costume isn't easy.
I love kids so much because they just say the fucking funniest things, and they don't mean to. They mean it like everything. They don't even
flinch. They just kind of just say things, and you just like,
yeah,
you're just going, oh god, and it's so pure.
Yeah.
The worst is when they're on the worst thing about being a parent is when you're in the bathroom and they pick up the phone, the house phone. Hi, Dad, it's Nene. I'm busy. Dad's in the bathroom taking a dump. He's been in there for 2 hours, and he's just like, I've been in it for 5 minutes. I just walked in here. No, he's been there for a long time.
Maeve is learning how to read now, and she's reading to me, and that is just like warming my heart up, but at the same time, like breaking my heart. I'm like, when did you get so big?
I know.
But
just wait till all the things aren't cool anymore. That's when you get like,
yeah,
we don't watch it anymore. Take it back.
Yeah.
Because like I fought with Marin as she got older because I wanted her to read classics.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, yeah, reading is not what I want to do. And it's like, yeah, but
Amen.
You need to. Like, you need to read these. Like, and thank God I did, because as she got older and went to each class, she Like she read Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe, and then by the time she gets to 6th grade, she's like, I read that book. Mm. And I was like, yeah, but that's the trick of it. Like, read them.
I don't think I read a single book. Actually, that's a lie. I read probably like maybe 3 of them my entire school career.
Yeah, and the worst thing
but
is
like what we didn't read in class, I didn't read at home. I mean,
yeah, I read a lot. I mean.
My
mom made me read a lot, which
she's a good parent.
Yeah, but
I mean,
I will say
my
I
mom
liked
asked
it,
me
and then I felt like we got to a point where the books got to where I was like, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah,
like
there was nothing I wanted to read about.
My problem was, I believe,
and I don't like the whole dissecting a book.
I read Treasure Island, and I'm drawing a blank what the second one is, and I remember going, that's horrible. That was a stupid book. And then we read Wrinkle in Time right after, and I was like, this sucks. And then I started reading Danny the Champion, and I was like, this sucks. And they're all like classic books to read, and I was like, I got to a point where every book I read was like, this is stupid. Like, I don't get this. Like, not that I didn't get it, it was just not my cup of tea. Yeah. And then I started kind of getting turned off by reading, because I wasn't opening doors, it was just closing doors. Because when I was younger, it was like the Velveteen Rabbit, like it was all like ooh. And then by the time I hit a certain age, I was like, this is stupid.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I just got like, I'm done. Yeah. And I can't think what the other Treasure Island is, and it's going to annoy the hell out of me because
you want me to look it up?
Go ahead, look it up. It was horrible.
Oh, I can't get rid of the lyrics.
Yeah. You're gonna sing it to Kels later, aren't you? Oh my gosh! But I remember being so. Was it Treasure Island? And then the second book is. Oh man, I draw a blank. That's horrible when I can't remember that stuff.
Dead Man's Chest?
Mm-mm. No, it's not it. I know it's not it.
Okay.
And I cannot think what it is.
Ashley.
Just, what did you put? The second book of?
Yeah.
Is this Treacle? No. No.
Back to Treasure Island?
No.
Are you sure it was part of this? Return to Treasure Island?
No, it's not Treasure Island. It's called something completely different by the same writer.
Silver?
Oh. I'm surprised my mom's not writing, because she'd be like, I have them, because she has both books right on.
Well, come on, Georgia. She's not actually on.
Shut up.
Her phone's on, but it's
she walked away like hours ago. Oh, crap.
What happens to Long John Silver at the end of Treasure Island?
Yeah. And then when you go to read the second book, it's not even about it. It's about something totally different. I was like, perfect. What?
I don't know what to tell you. That's all that Google's giving me.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes you win some, sometimes you don't.
You know what it is with Google that kills me? It's like you have to be exactly. No, not Gulliver's Travel.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. Treasure Island did not go to Treasure.
It's not Silver.
No. Treasure Island. See, the problem is that it's a second book, but it's called something completely different. I know. I can't.
Who's the writer? John Connell.
Yeah, I cannot think of what it is. It's supposed to be, but it's not. It wasn't good. Like, I didn't enjoy it. And of course, what the problem is.
The cow book?
Yeah, exactly.
12 Sheep. The Farmer's Son. The Running Book. This is not the right guy.
This is not the right guy. Cool. This is way off, because like Treasure Island's old. And I can't think of what freaking called.
Oh, I found it. It's H.A. Callan. Sequel written by John Connell, so that's why I was like, what?
Yeah, I get it.
What did I say it was? Callahan.
You know how bad I am at that? Like, I always have to do the 2 tabs, because I'm like, oh, his name is John. What is it? John what? John what?
Harold Augustin? That's his name.
Okay, let's see what books he writes.
Oh, wait, hold on.
I cannot believe this is so. That helps.
Just give me a list of them. Okay, well, you know what? Learning to sail.
Nope.
The Sky the Sailor. Wind and Tide, a yacht racing.
No.
This is not the same guy.
You're nailing it here.
Yachtman's omnibus. Sailing
Kidnapped.
techniques.
Kidnapped. I think it's kidnapped. Yes,
Are
kidnapped.
you fucking kidding me?
It's kidnapped. It's kidnapped. On Three Musketeers, it's kidnapped.
Okay.
Kidnapped, but I feel like it's kidnapped in something. Like another word, but it is. It's kidnapped.
Okay.
And it's supposed to
I'm
be
so glad that
a
was
sequel to it, but it has nothing to do with the main, like all the characters from the first book. Yeah.
It's just called Kidnapped.
Yeah, and it has not, but that's supposed to be like the second part to it, and it has nothing to do with it. I'm like, it does. It has stuff to do with it, but it's not the same characters and not the same thing, and it's like it's a whole nother different event, and I was like, no.
Okay.
Well, I was so disappointed by it. I remember reading a bunch of them, and I was just like, I'm done. Like,
yeah,
it just killed my reading thing.
Well, on that note, we'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week.
We're out of time.
Make sure you listen to from 12:30 to 1. 12:30 to 1.
3.
To 3.
It's all commercials, but you got it.
Pat.
I bet you he would have known.
He would have known.
Can he remix this book?
He's gonna do our soundtracks.
Perfect.
Bye.
Bye.